Hey guys, it's Bobby Legs, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Timex M79. You know, last year in 2019, Timex reissued the Q Timex to much fanfare. That watch quickly sold out and was selling above MSRP in the secondary market. That watch was one of the most highly sought after watches in the affordable watch space released last year. On the heels of that, Timex is releasing the M79, which has an automatic movement and a Batman style bezel insert. This dual time wait a second. This wait a second. What is this watch? What is it trying to be? Anyway, we'll try to figure that out in this video, and as well as discuss some things you should know about this watch before you go ahead and buy it. Now, before we start the review, please remember to like and subscribe and click that bell icon to get notifications when I upload new videos. I love making these videos, and I hope you like them too. Now let's flip the camera and get on with the review. So let's talk specs before we get into the review. We got a 40mm case diameter with a 46mm lug to lug. 14.5mm case thickness, helped by that domed acrylic crystal. 20mm lug width. It is powered by the Miyota 8205 automatic movement. It is a 3 Hertz 21 joule movement with a 40-hour power reserve. Tells the time as well as the date and day functionality. The watch is 50 meters water resistant. It doesn't have a screw down crown. You have a stainless steel polished case and stainless steel bracelet. So let's talk about some of the positive things about this watch, and I'm bringing in the Q Timex for just a comparison here. Thank you, Chris, over at the Watch Lounge, for providing me with the Q for this comparison. Now, so look, I mean, part of the attraction to the Q was its vintage look, and I think the M79 does a decent job replicating that. With the Q, you have the faux patina in the hour indices as well as the hour hands and the minute hand. You don't quite have that here with the M79, but you do have the similar style or exact same style case and bracelet, albeit the Timex is M79 is at a bigger case diameter, more of a modern size than the 38. Case thickness drastically different, and you got an automatic movement on the M79 and a quartz movement here on the Q, so you're definitely going to have some differences there. I have to say the Q, because of the size and the thickness of, or the lack of thickness compared to the M79, the Timex Q obviously wears so much more comfortably to me. It's so much lighter. Not that this is a heavy watch, but this just feels a little bit better on the wrist. The bracelet, which I know is a bone of contention for a lot of people, for me is not that big of an issue. I find it very comfortable. I do not have much hair on my wrists, so the bracelet doesn't pull. So that's really a non-issue for me. If you have a lot of hair on your wrist, just be aware that that is a possibility of some pulling and tugging of hairs. Now, where I think this watch, the M79, has really missed the boat, you have this Batman style bezel. Now, Timex didn't go out there and advertise this as the Batman. That has some connotations of, if the GMT, the Rolex GMT Batman, and obviously this is not a GMT or dual time, more specifically bezel. It is what appears to be a diver's bezel to me. But what I am very confused is the 50-meter water resistance. This is not a dive watch by any means. So that's a little bit disappointing. It doesn't seem, this watch doesn't, I feel like it doesn't have much of an identity. I don't know. It's obviously not a dual time watch. like the Q. Um, it's arguably a dive watch. I mean, it does have the some of the features of a dive watch, but that water resistance and the lack of a screw-down crown, um, uh, to me, this is not a dive watch. Now, another thing that's going against this watch, in my opinion, is the price of it. Now, the MSRP is $279 on this watch. Let's think about the competition and what are the other watches in this price point. You have a couple of dive watches. You have the Seiko 5, the new Seiko 5s that are roughly around this price point, which offer, I feel, a better movement. Um, they have 100-meter water resistance. Um, the bezel on those watches um, feel much smoother and of higher quality. This bezel here on this M79 really feels chintzy to me. Um, yeah, I mean, look, I mean, it's kind of like bumping up and down. If you notice that, look up top by the pip, it's going up and down as it moves slowly. So that's that's interesting. Um, Also, I find that this watch is very, very hard to wind. Um, like I have to go on my fingertips here. So going back to its competition, you have much higher quality pieces in the Seiko 5 lineup, as well as some of the Orient divers. The Mako comes to mind. Mako 2, just higher quality divers. I mean, the Mako has a 200-meter water resistance, and you can find it at way lower prices than this Timex Q. Look, I mean, if you are into the vintage look, um, aesthetically, you're going to be happy, especially with the Q Timex, and probably going to be happy with this M79, if that's what interests you. Um, if you're a watch nerd with a stick up his ass, who gets bent out of shape about things easily like I do, this is not going to be a watch for you. Um, Plain and simple. I understand that these watches are very popular because they have captured this vintage look from times gone by, and that's very popular now these days. And they actually, feel pretty good on wrist. And they look good. Look, they look good. You know, they look more expensive than what they are. I'll give them that. But when you look under the hood there, it is just lacking in a lot of ways. And if you're a collector, or if you are not a collector but are just like an enthusiast, that usually both goes hand in hand. You know, you may be disappointed in this watch. I mean, I certainly am. But I don't want to speak for everybody. There's a segment of the population that obviously finds this watch attractive, and you can just look at the Timex website. It is sold out right now. So there's a lot of people who are looking forward to this watch, and are probably very happy for them for having it. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Um, am I is my reasoning sound here? Do you feel the same way as I do, or am I just being a jackass? Please comment below. I'd appreciate it. And until next time, have a good one, and I'll see you guys soon with a new video.